Hello, bonjour everybody. Welcome to my channel. Thank you for watching my video, and special thanks for those who subscribe to my channel. This video today is about the game called Panzer. It's made by GMT. This video will be with this video I will try to explain how spotting works into the game of Panzer. I'm learning the game. I never played before, so I just bought the basic box where you got all the information, you got the game rules, and all the components to play the game. So there's 3 levels of rules. There's the basic rule, where it is more like a tank against tank battle. You have more advanced rule, and it's more like including airplane, anti-tank gun, artillery, infantry, etc. into the game, with some modification how the game is played and what the kind of ammunition, etc., etc. Having said that, according to them, when you play the game with a friend or someone else, you don't have to do only basic rule. You don't have to do, if you want to have infantry, do all the advanced rules. You can just pick and play as it goes. Those advanced rules, if you make it clear with the person you play with what are they, then you should be having no problem to play the game. So I never played the game. I'm learning it. I decided to make YouTube and explain the different basic rules. And this way, if I make a mistake or did not understand the rules correctly, I hope someone can put comments in the bottom and correct me on that purpose. For others watching this video, it might interest you enough to want to try the game. So all those videos will be by using the basic rules of the game. So there's no advanced rules. So at the end of all those small videos, I should be able to play a game, tank against tank, using all the basic rules. So we'll see at the end how it goes. So in this video, I'm going to use what they call game card C, where you're going to find sequence of play for the game. Also, I'm going to use game card A, because the box includes 4 game cards, A, B, C, D, that explain or help you to use all the rules. So for example, on the game card C, the sequence of play are all the sequence you will play for every turn. And there's different phase in it, and the first phase is spotting phase, they call, and that's what we will talk about in this video. For that, I'm going to use, for the spotting phase, the game card A, where they have all those two tables that I would use. And for that, I'm going to use game card A. There's 2 tables that interest me for that spotting. It's called spotting range, where you can see there's 4 columns. One is level. The second column is V. You get a column called L and column called S. V is for vehicle, so all the tank. L is for infantry. We don't have any infantry. We won't use that column. And S is attached vehicle. And we don't have that as well. So that's the idea. We're going to use level, where they go from +2 to -5, and the column V, where they give you the number of X for spotting. So in this game, the basic rule is every vehicle can see up to 20X on the battlefield. If there's more than 20X, you will not be able to see the enemy. Then, if there's any obstruction on your view toward the target, then it may change, or you might not have any view at all. So that's what we're going to see in this video. The second most table we're going to use, or primary table, is terrain effect. And terrain effect, as you can see on screen, there's 1 column is for the type of terrain you may find. You got the height of that terrain, where they give you like the height of a building is this height, forest is those height, and hill are those height, as an example. After that, you have GP depth, we don't use. Then we have the column cover, where they give you light cover, medium cover, heavy cover, none, or other. In this case, for basic rules, we need to use in this terrain effect table the type of terrain, the height, and the cover. That's what you need. The rest, we don't use that in the basic rule. So how does it work? So beginning of the turn, we use the sequence of play, and the phase one is spotting. So every turn, we start with spotting for both sides. So here on the table, we have Soviet vehicle and few German vehicle on the table. So for spotting, we need to see if for the German, for example, they can see those targets. And for the Soviet, if they can see those targets. When you do that, you always count the distance, meaning the number of X in between, and you compare with your spotting range. And the level starts at 0, and it gives you 20X for vehicle. So anything inside 20X might be visible to the enemy, or you can see your target. From there, you can see on that same table, there's light cover is a -1, medium cover is a -2, heavy cover -3, spot move is a +2, and spot fire +3. All the other are used with more advanced rules. So we go from there, and for example, we'll take that German Panzer IV, and if they can see any of the vehicle. For that, on the X, there's a white dot, and you have to draw a line between the white dot and the next white dot. And you see if there's any obstacle in between. So we can see that Panzer IV, there's a hill between the T-34 and him, so he is hiding because they are at level 0. The hill is at level 1, and this is at level 0. So there's a hill in between, they cannot see each other's. The second one here, although they don't pass over the hill, because they touch at the X, it is considered passing over the hiding from this X. So he cannot see this vehicle because when you draw a line between the white dot, it passes over this X just on the side there. So automatically you have to take that level 2 in between the two levels 0. Here we have a direct line of view. When you look at the terrain, this is rough terrain, and when you look at the terrain effect table and we look at rough, it said the level height is 0, so there's no effect. The stream is at -1, there's no effect, and the gully is -1, there's no effect on your view. The same apply for this one, except it pass over here. It's called scrub, and terrain effect scrub, and mark at height of 0. So there's no hiding from this as well. When we decide that, then you count the number of X in between. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16, 17 is 17 X away. So we look at the spotting range. 0 is a maximum of 20. You can see it. After that, you have to see if the tank or the target is concealed. In this case, is in forest. Using the table terrain effect, you go with wood, cover, medium. You come to that spotting range and you look at medium cover, it's -2. So 0, -2, it's 7. So if there's more than 7x in between, they cannot see each other's. The same applies for him. He's in the wood, so he is probably covered. Let me place it easier, light wood. Light wood instead, the cover is called light, and light cover is -1, so you go from 0 to -1 to 10. If there's more than 10x, technically you don't see that vehicle. Now here we have that Panzer IV, and does he see this one? There's a hill in between, so the hill is level 2, he is at level 2, so he cannot see because the hill will block line of sight after hit the hill. This one is open line of sight. Even if it's at level 2, he's at level 0, he can see him. We have to do the same thing. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13. But the vehicle is in the wood, light wood, so we go spotting range 0. Light wood is -1, and it is becoming 10, so he is more than 10x away. He cannot see this vehicle. For them, we see that he's on top of the hill and it's level 2, height 2. Here we have a height 1. Then vehicle behind. Because he is higher than the obstacle in between the two, we have to do a calculation. What you do is, and it applies for the Soviet at the same time, the Soviet player will do the same calculation. Is he wants to know if his tank can see him, and for that, both, what they do is they take the spotter as the highest point and the target at the lowest point. Even if you're Soviet, you will do the same. So you take your spotter here, the Tiger 4, you calculate the number of X with the hill at level 1. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8 is 8X. There's a difference of 1 in between. So you take 8x, you divide by 2. That gives you 4. So that means 4x behind the hill will be hiding from view from the Tiger 4, Panzer 4. And anything that is more than 5 behind, it will be able to see up to 20 because that's the maximum range. So in this case, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, divide by 2, it's 4. So 1, 2, 3, 4, meaning this one is hiding, and if it was here, it would be hiding from the Panzer 4. But this T-34 is 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15. The Panzer 4 can see the target here. So obviously the T-34 can see him. Him, because he's too close to the hill, cannot see on top of that hill. Now there's also the calculation, if there's 2 levels higher from here, for example, the height of the hill is 3, and the hill is 1. You as well take 8 number of x divided by 4. That will give you 2. So 2x behind would be hiding. After that, up to 20 would be seen by the Panzer 4. If there is a difference of 3 levels, so we are at level 4 against 1, then you divide by 8. So 8 divided by 8 is 1. Only vehicle right on the first X after the hill would be hiding from the Panzer 4. Anything behind would be an open view for the Panzer 4, and the Panzer 4 would be in the view of the vehicle behind. Now, for example, if it is 3, 2, and he is on the hill 1, that means there's a +1. Instead to make a new calculation, they just say, instead to divide by 2 for difference of 1, by 4 for difference of 2, and by 3 for difference by 2 for difference of 1, 4 for difference of 2, 8 for difference of 3. And then you have to think, how are we going to manage, because it's at +1 here. They just decide to go, instead divide by 2, you divide by 3. Instead to divide by 4, you divide by 5. Instead to divide by 8, you divide by 9. The result, if it is a fraction, you always take the lower number. So you round up toward the bottom, not toward the top. Even if it is 4.8, it becomes 4x, not 5x. So far in spotting, we cover if there's obstacle in between, and if the height is higher than both, they are hiding from each other because of the cover. So if they are here in the forest, because there's a forest in front, they cannot see each other. The same way apply to here. If it is behind the tree line, the Panzer 4 cannot see him, because that's a level 3, the tree line, and that's a level 2, so the tree line is higher. Also, we have to calculate if there's concealment from the target. So if they are in the forest or anything that provide cover, like building, they are in cover, and there's a calculation if it is light, medium, or heavy cover. After that, we saw if there's obstacle in between, but one of the two vehicles is higher than the obstacle on its height with the terrain. Then there's a table to calculate how many x behind the obstacle the vehicle will be covered, and after that, if there will be an open view from the spotter. The last thing we have to play with, especially after we start shooting and moving, is movement and shooting also help to spot a vehicle. So for example, here we're going to put this vehicle in light 3, and we're going to make it move. So you always place your last command in front, this for spotting in the middle and meaning, and fire in the back, so there's only one square for both. So let's say this guy move, this one was already in the forest, and you fire at the German, for example. Now when it's time to calculate the spotting range to see if we see him or not, we take the distance with the spotting range. 0 is 20, minus if there's any cover. For in this case, the forest is -2, so we go -2 in the spotting range, so it means it's visible up to 7x. But because it just fired, the fire gave a +3 to see him, because if you see a muzzle blast, so basically a flame in the distance, your attention will be drawn to that, and the fire of the blast is seen from further out. So what we do is we take the -2 in the spotting range and we add +3. So we go -2, 1, -1, 0, 1. So now, because it's fired, any German vehicle in a range of 30x would be able to see him if they have a clear line of sight. In the case of my next vehicle here, who just moved at the edge of the forest there, we calculate the number of x. So we go from 0 to 20. Now he's in a light forest, so it's a -1. So now only German vehicle less than 10x can see him. But because he just moved in, so it creates attention to that part of the forest. And move is a +2, so we go -1, 0, +1, because we move 2 up, 0, +1. So we can be see 30x around of clear line of sight. So now he can see them and him still have a clear line of sight and can see him. So this is the basic of spotting. You need to calculate the range in between using the spotting range. From there, you choose the V column because it's a vehicle. With 0, it's 20x. Then you apply the different variant. Is there an obstacle in between? If it is, what's the height of the obstacle in comparison to the two vehicles you're looking at each other's? So if the height is the same, or look, if there's the height the same in between, you don't see him. If the height is lower than the spotter, and your target can be 0 or 1 as well, then you might be able to see each other's. You look at the height, it's +1, then there's a calculation, because there's a difference of 1 in height. You take number of x, divide by 2. That's, for this case, 8 divided by 2, 4. So 1, 2, 3, 4. The first 4x are hiding by the hill. After that, they are open to be seen. If the difference in height is of 2 between the obstacle and the spotter, you divide by 4. If the difference is 3, you divide by 8. And the same math apply for this vehicle trying to see him. What's the obstacle? But you do your calculation using the highest vehicle toward the lowest vehicle. If the lowest vehicle is on a +1, for example, this is +2, and this is +3. Instead to divide by 2, you divide by 3 because of the +1 here. And if there's a difference of 2 between here, you divide by 5 instead of 4, and you divide by 9 instead of 8 if there's a difference of more than 3. For shooting and movement of the target, you look in your spotting range, and it shows spot move of +2, spot fire of +3. So if you can see, or might not have, or you could have be in a distance, for example, you cannot see him because it's out by 10, but because he moved, it changed the distance you can see him, and now he gets spotted by him. The same applies for him. If we use only the cover and the distance, he cannot be seen by the Panzer IV, but as soon as he fires, at the beginning of next turn, we're going to calculate, and he might be seen because there's a +3 in the distance. So this completes my video about spotting. I hope I'm right. If I'm wrong, please let me know so I can learn properly. Thank you for watching. I hope it's helpful for people who are starting to play or want to learn to play the game. So my next video, we will look at the next sequence of play. So the second phase is command. So we're going to look at command and how it works and what are your options. So thank you for watching. I appreciate. Bye-bye.